So we have done the brainstorming, we have found out broadly what are the things we do. I'm going to step aside and let you look at the board for a while. Don't think too much about it, just absorb the structure and then we'll come on to it only. This is something we call as the business canvas. More or less, it's a business model canvas, as you can see. It essentially tells you the thinking points that you need to worry about when you're looking at a business. So let's start with all the aspects. Like I have stressed on, and I cannot re-stress or over-stress this more, people finally become the greatest asset and the greatest challenge for any startup. Your people make the startup. Even every innovation that is coming finally is created by people and for people. So firstly, always make sure you're aware of your key partners. They could be external, they could be internal. Identify that part. That's the first task. That what all environmental support do I need? Who all are my collaborators? Who are my co-workers, my colleagues? Who takes what role? That's very important when you're looking at the key partnership aspects. This leads to key activities, because once you know the partners, you will also know the activities, and the activity to the partner mapping becomes the second most important thing. Then you identify what are the key resources. Who do you need? Who will do what? And what is the output that you expect from each of them? What happens if one of them fails? What happens to the remaining part of the chain? How do you monitor those aspects? All those things determine the aspect of the key resources. This leads to your final thing. What is your value prop? How are you different? And we'll come back to this again, but the key question in any business is, why should people buy the product from you? Why should they buy the product? And all those things. Then comes the most important second aspect. This is all internal. This is a joining point with your external world. This part is your customer relationships. How do you build a relationship with the customer? How do you reach out to him? How do you advertise to him? How do you entice him to buy? Once he is bought, what is the experience he is getting? If he has a problem, how does he reach into you? So the entire mind map, remember? The entire mind map of the customer cycle, how are you covering that in relationship? Once the relationships are done, you come to channels. These are not your TV channels, these are channels for distribution and handling. Will you take calls for distribution or for problems, or would you have to do home visits? All those things will add up to any element of your business, including costs, manpower requirement. So these are essentially going to have a recursive part. Remember, nothing is linear. Each of these aspects are there. You start somewhere, but for any effective part, whenever you finish something, you have to go back and listen to it. It's like teaching a little kid, your nephew or your niece or your cousin, that okay, this is Ajay, this is Shyam, this is Madhu, this is let's say Sandipan, and then you say, who is this? He'll say Sandipan, right? Who is this? Shyam? No, he's Ajay. And you keep on doing it till you are assured that he knows everyone. And he'll make a mistake, you have to rectify it, but when you correct the mistake, there is an assurance that what he had told first is there. Same with this, any of these maps. You always go back and check this change or this inspiration or this entire innovation I've done, the great thing I've done, does it have a problem in any of the other parts? And all of these will always affect your cost structure and your revenue streams. Everything you do will affect. If you think, oh, I'm going to put this key resource here, it's going to affect your cost structure. If you do anything which is there, it's going to affect your revenue stream. So broadly, your value props will contribute both to your cost structure and your revenue streams. These will only contribute to your cost structure, and these will always contribute to your revenue stream. This is very broad. It could be recursive also. Customer segments is most important. Who are you serving? What is the kind of serving? For example, let's take a classic case. You are doing an EdTech product. Your customer segment actually is two. The kid who's actually your customer and using your product is not the guy paying, it's his parent paying. So your parent is also a customer. The teacher recommended is also a customer, because anyone who is buying or enabling the sale or becoming the reason for the sale, they're all your customers. I can draw from my experience in Just Dial. Every caller was a customer, though no caller paid a single dime in Just Dial. Because unless they called, the guys who are paying, the businesses, will not pay. So they were the market makers. They were very customers, and we often focused on that customer more than our business. If it came to a compromise between the choice of the customer and the choice of the business, we leaned heavily on that, but though they are not paying us money, because unless they are there, these guys will not pay us any money. So it's not as clear as it seems. You have to identify these segments very clearly and go on with your business aspects of it. Channels and segments matter. You cannot reach every customer the same way. The way you can serve someone willing to pay for Maggi is not the same way when someone wants the Maggi delivered. Simple details you have to think of. You have to actually add to your value prop. What is your value prop? Oh, when I send Maggi over in a hot packet, it gets soggy by the time it reaches. The customer experience is not good. That itself could be a value prop. I have made this packaging and I have found this perfect time and the perfect temperature. I put the Maggi in the container so that by the time it reaches, the sogginess is not there, and a little bit of the cooking is actually happening in the container depending on the travel time. People think in these details and they make the difference. And when you feel that part, you may not be able to, the customer may not be able to put your finger onto that. What is it that making the magic happen? But they'll keep on repeating to you. That's the best customer. Moment he has understood what you are doing, he'll understand a competitor and be able to judge. But when he is not able to understand what is that X factor that you are doing and it's hidden from them, they are in a quandary and they will not release or go away from you till they really feel you are doing something very amiss or wrong. That is a cool part. Now, putting that in this model canvas and brainstorming it is also a great idea. So, as you can see, we are going deep, broad, then we are going deep, then we are going broad again, then we are going deep. That is the way, and that's a continuous cycle. Your first product is not the end of your business model. This is your lifeline. You will use it throughout the time that the business exists. Continual change to it is what will keep you afloat. Moment you start thinking it's a done deal, complacency, I don't need this again, you're dead. So what I am saying is, this is a lifetime. All the things we talked about are not the start of things only. You have to do those to start off, but that doesn't mean that after you have started off and you're in a stable state, you don't do it. That's what they mean. You know, this often talked about phrase from Amazon and all, which you love to hear, always day one. That's what always day one means. Continuously looking at these aspects, thinking that every day is a fresh start, feeling very humble and very gratitude to the customer who are doing it, but making sure that you don't take them for granted and doing these aspects there. This and these two aspects, I cannot tell you how important they are. They are what will make and break your business. Imagine a scenario, you have all this in place, you started the project, then all of them are gone. Will your business run? It will not run. They are dependencies because the activities depend on these aspects. Your value props come from there. So everything is connected. Please remember that. This one leaves and that. So be fair. Share the wealth. Don't try to be very hungry and greedy about equity, but at the same time be fair. Maintain parity. No one likes to be cheated. All these aspects will come from a business model. And one of your key activities is how to keep these things in harmony. That's a key activity. As a leader, if you are the person who's an entrepreneur, one of your key activities is to make sure this entire model is balanced. More when we come back on other interesting topics. I'll make it short and also that I have your attention for all the while. Thank you so much. We'll get on to the next ones.